This video was supposed to come out 2 months ago. Hello folks, and welcome to Jack Reviews Musicals. If this is your first time seeing my face, hi, my name is Jack, and I am a musical theater superfan based in St. Louis. On this YouTube channel that you have stumbled upon, I share my thoughts on all of the musical productions that I see in St. Louis. In this video, I am going to be covering Winter Opera St. Louis's production of Naughty Marietta, which played at the Kirkwood Performing Arts Center from March 1st to the 3rd? Yeah, this played all the way back in March. If you want a legitimate reason why this video is so late, I'm gonna be honest, it's not a very good reason. To make it brief, without going into any details, without naming any names, I was in university this semester, and one of my professors created a toxic learning environment in ways that I am not really comfortable discussing, especially because there is a developing situation going on with this particular professor. And the whole thing just pretty much killed any motivation that I have had for making content for this channel for pretty much the whole semester. But once the semester ended, I did manage to take some time for myself, took a little bit at a time to keep on writing about the shows that I have seen during this time, all 2 of them, one of them being this, Naughty Marietta at Winter Opera St. Louis. Now, if you know your musical theater history, you would know Naughty Marietta is technically an operetta, not a proper musical. Here's why I'm talking about it. I consider operetta to be an immediate precursor to musical theater that we know it today. Most operettas are filled to the brim with wacky, screwball comedy, a lot of which is present in early musical theater. The only difference in operetta is the score is legit opera. So I like to count operettas in the musical theater canon. I can't learn about the history of my art form if I can't see its precursors. Now, because it has been so long since this production played, all the way back in March, instead of me nitpicking over every single little thing about Winter Opera's production, I am instead going to go into what I thought of the material, and then just give a general overview of the quality of the production, so that way you know what to expect if you're going to see a show from Winter Opera St. Louis that's going to be playing in their next season. Think of it as an educational experience. Naughty Marietta first premiered in 1910. The music was composed by Victor Herbert, and the libretto was written by Rida Johnson Young. And the original Broadway production was produced by Oscar Hammerstein the first. Naughty Marietta was then adapted for film in 1935, there was a made-for-TV version made in 1955, and it has gone on to be one of 2 of Victor Herbert's most successful operettas, the first being Babes in Toyland. Now, Rida Johnson Young's original book for the show was extremely convoluted, and also a bit racist, and anti-Semitic. And so Winter Opera St. Louis decided to collaborate with playwright David Taylor Little, and they presented the show with a brand new script. Now, Winter Opera St. Louis has actually been doing this with operettas already for the past decade. They've done The Merry Widow, The Student Prince, and The Desert Song, which you can actually read the review for on jackreviewsmusicals.com. Okay, if you do not know the plot of Naughty Marietta, buckle up, because it's gonna be a wild ride. The show takes place in 1780 in New Orleans. This was back when it was still a colony of France under the rule of King Louis XIV. The show's titular bitchular is Marietta D'Altena. She's an Italian contessa who is diplomatically arranged to be married to Etienne Grandet, who is the son of New Orleans' governor. Marietta, of course, being a strong, independent woman, runs away from her courtship. She stows away on a ship full of casquette girls on their way to New Orleans. Casquette girls were women aged 12 to 25 that were sent by King Louis XIV for the specific reason of marrying the colonists of New Orleans and populating the place. They carried their dowries inside of suitcase-sized hat boxes, hence Casquette Girls. Marietta joins the Casquette Girls in the hopes that she can live in New Orleans on her own terms and stay one step ahead of Etienne. However, on their way to New Orleans, the ship gets attacked by a dread pirate called Bras Biquet. Bras Biquet has been taking down ships headed for New Orleans. The captain of the ship, Rick Warrington, manages to fend off Bras Biquet, and he safely disembarks the ship in New Orleans. Rick learns a thing or two about Marietta's situation, and he decides to help her out. Now, because Marietta is Italian, they go with a plan to disguise her as Luigi, the son of Rudolfo, the local puppeteer who happens to be Italian. But that ends up quickly falling apart. Pretty much immediately, Etienne finds out about the ruse, and he tries everything that he can to get Marietta to marry him. And so, of course, Marietta and Rick try to evade him. But in the process, they discover that Etienne is actually Bras Biquet. And the reason why he's been taking down all of those ships for New Orleans is because he wants to establish a dictatorship in New Orleans, seceding from France and from the United States. And so now, Marietta and Rick have to do everything that they can to stop him. Misunderstandings and surprise reveals are abound. Naughty Marietta has all of the trademarks of a classic operetta, a screwball comedy set in an exotic locale with a premise celebrating the power of love. However, I think Naughty Marietta as a show suffers from a case of too much of not enough. It's all very rote. Now, don't get me wrong, the show itself is entertaining, but it's a bit too long and the material is not all that engaging. Now, there are some fun songs and there are some really good bits of character jokes, but the structure of the story doesn't really have that sort of high-flying, very rowdy and risky, very dangerous edge that other operettas have, like The Desert Song and even Winter Opera St. Louis's next production, Gilbert and Sullivan's The HMS Pinafore. And as for the characters, well, I remember names, identities, personalities, but their arcs really didn't grab me. I was really disappointed because I was expecting a lot of hijinks from this. I was really looking forward to these comedy of errors, 12th Night style shenanigans, particularly with Marietta disguising herself as Luigi, Rudolfo's son. There's even a really fun number at the start of the ruse, the Italian street song, where everybody celebrates Luigi's return to New Orleans from Italy. But then Etienne crashes the party and takes the mask off of Marietta pretty much immediately to close out the act. I kind of question what was even the point of this scenario that they've created. I really wanted more of that screwball comedy aspect from this show. I wanted crazy chases. I wanted swashbuckling, swordplay. Really be adventurous. And I kind of question too if the show even respected the audience's intelligence from a comedy standpoint. Like, take for example, one of the show's central plot devices is Marietta singing this song. Yeah, the song from Young Frankenstein is from this. Now, in the show, Marietta takes every chance that she gets to sing this song, in the hopes that if someone else finishes the song with her, she will marry them on the spot. And early in Act 1, Marietta actually explains to Rick the backstory behind the song, and in the process she makes a reference to Young Frankenstein that is actually pretty gratuitous. I'm not gonna lie, it seemed like they didn't even try. Like, literally, Rick was like, I feel like I might have heard that somewhere. And then Marietta says, "Oh, it's from the Mel Brooks movie." "What?" "I have no idea what you're talking about." Quite frankly, Rick, neither do I. Either the script really did not trust the audience enough to accept the premise that such a culturally significant song originated from this show, or really, I don't know what else it could have been. And it took me right out of the story for like a solid 5 minutes. Quite frankly, it's embarrassing. It sounds like I'm nitpicking, but it's not. Now, as much as I didn't care about the material, the actors playing out the material all around did a pretty good job in Winter Opera St. Louis's production. Brittany Hebel played the role of the show's titular bitchular, and she had a pretty great eye for melodrama. She did a nice job of playing the type of the strong, independent woman in the book scenes, and she had a really great legit soprano. She particularly stood out in the Italian street song, which is kind of the reason why I found the, cross-dressing plot point kind of problematic. The rest of the actors are also pretty serviceable, each of them playing different archetypes very well. Rick, who is obviously Marietta's love interest, is played very well by tenor Zachary Devon. I actually really like the on-stage contrast of Marietta being so petite and Rick being so statuesque. It makes their chemistry honestly kind of charming and cute. Now, when Rick came on stage with the song Tramp, 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 I thought he was going to be, a type like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. But as the show went on, I was honestly quite pleased that he's actually a gentle giant. Very sweet, very affable, and very charming. Etienne, the villain, is played by Michael Coleman. Michael Coleman has a very rich bass voice and a sense of articulation and enunciation that makes him sound very inherently wicked and diabolical, just confident in his evilness. His solo in Act 2, You Marry a Marionette, pretty much brought the whole house down. His performance was really great to watch. And now we move on to the supporting cast. We have Melanie Ascar as Ada. She's Etienne's servant who is deeply in love with him, or more specifically, Bra Piquet. She is a mezzo voice, and it's actually very sensitive and kind of sultry. Her solo, 'Neath the Southern Moon, was hypnotizing. The show's B-plot couple, Simon and Nanette, are played by Mark Chapman and Grace Yukiko Fisher. Chapman playing Simon as this stereotypical dopey schlub, bumbling fool, and Fisher playing Nanette as the best friend to the girl next door type. You know the one. The shenanigans that they get into are honestly kind of fun because they're the ones who are playing them. Gary Moss plays the puppeteer Rudolfo as over-the-top Italian stereotype, but again, he is very charming and very convincing as an Italian. Rounding out the cast are a few woefully underwritten roles, including Joel Rozier as Harry Blake, who is Rick's lieutenant, and Jessica Barnes, Caitlin Hedler, and Emily Moore as a trio of Casquette Girls. Another problem that I kind of have with the show is I really wish the Casquette Girls had more prominence in the story, kind of like the Greek chorus from Legally Blonde, but way more classy. The staging by director John Stevens and choreographer Rachel Bottle was very fun and quite light and bouncy. The musical direction by Mark Farrell was fantastic on both the singing and the orchestra side. The set by Scott Lobel was beautifully crafted. Looking at it made me feel like I was looking at a 17th century painting that you would probably find at Versailles or something. Also beautiful were the costumes that were designed by Jen Bloom Tatara and the hair and makeup by Jessica Dana. So, as much as I enjoyed Winter Opera St. Louis's production of the show, Naughty Marietta, as a story, left me cold. The script had a lot of missed opportunities, and it had dialogue that was kind of insulting. I really wanted this script to just go all out with the screwball premise. I would much rather be watching operettas like Winter Opera St. Louis's next show, the HMS Pinafore, which is going to be playing November 8th through the 10th of 2024. Now, unfortunately, that is going to be a 2-night engagement, much like this show is, so I cannot guarantee that my video for it is going to be up on time. But at least it won't be 3 months late, I can tell you that right now. So, Naughty Marietta at Winter Opera St. Louis. Did you see it? Oh, those many months ago in March? If so, what did you think about it? Comment below, let me know. And if you like what you see here, you can tramp on down to my website, jackreviewsmusicals.com. All of my reviews are there, including written reviews that I have been publishing since the start of 2022. If you want to see more videos like this, all you have to do is leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to see more St. Louis musical theater reviews coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, long live the musical!